2D rock music projects aren't all that common. There are a few, but it's really hard to see 2D rock music projects last a decade. And yet, Dear Vocalist has, against all odds, lasted a full decade and is still thriving. And this is an amazing milestone. You may have heard some songs or know some of the seiyuu in the cast, but do you know the basics of this project and why it is so influential despite the lack of fanfare? Do you want to get into this project but don't know where to start? Is this project for you? Why is it one of the best 2D music projects out there? And what can you expect of the music and storytelling? And why do I talk so much about Dear Vocalist depicting mental health in a really sensitive way? If you're a long-time fan, let's celebrate the project's 10th anniversary, and if you're a newcomer, I hope this makes you want to check this project out. So let's answer those questions and talk about Dear Vocalist and why it is, in my opinion, the best 2D music project out there. What is Dear Vocalist? Dear Vocalist is a 2D rock music project focused on equal parts music and storytelling. The franchise was launched in 2015 and is produced by Reject. Ron, from Stereotype Foundation, is in charge of producing all the music in this franchise. One thing that sets this franchise apart from all others is a massive focus on storytelling, through the drama tracks and songs. That storytelling highlights mental health, with all vocalists having some sort of disorder that you help them get through or heal, even if not obvious at times. That, paired up with the music and romance parts as well as the character development that you can easily notice if you check the songs, plus drama CDs, chronologically make this franchise a unique one, truly in a league of its own. According to Reject, the characters in the story are vocalists belonging to the music production company Climax Record. They face various challenges and unreasonable demands, such as the president of the production company telling them to disband if they don't become successful. As a supportive figure and as their significant other, you strive to assist the vocalist in facing these challenges while engaging in musical activities. The cast features 6 vocals currently fronting their respective bands and on the side living their normal lives with their significant others, which is to say you, the listener, in the drama tracks recorded with a dummy head mic. And speaking about music styles and quality. Dear Vocalist's selling point for many of you, for sure, is the high-tension, fun and at times aggressive rock and EDM music. Yes, you heard it well, this rock-first 2D music project actually has some EDM in the mix. Some of you may be asking, but Vanessa, Veronica actually does traditional Japanese music as well. And I see and hear you. Primarily, the Dear Vocalist franchise is all about rock music. That's the genre that drives this project forward. It is its emotional core. You have different subgenres of rock celebrated in this project, from pop rock to acoustic, indie rock, math rock, hard rock, electro rock and punk rock. There's also some jazz, EDM and traditional Japanese into the mix, which is to say enka. Ron, who you may know as the founding member of Stereotype Foundation and a former member and guitarist of Old Codex, is the one in charge of all the music in the franchise since the start. Only having one composer for all bands ensures that there is a perfect continuity in their sound across CDs and seasons. And you can easily notice that growth and evolution each band and vocalist goes through, thanks to Ron being the one in charge of all the music. When it comes to the lyrics themselves, it is kind of funny. You see, Reject CEO, Daisuke Iwasaki, is actually the lyricist for most, if not all, the songs in this franchise. Iwasaki has mentioned in the past that he has a psychology background. And this plays a massive role in this franchise, believe it or not. Actually, it plays a massive role in all projects under Reject that usually touch upon relevant themes in psychology, no matter how messed up the projects end up being. But I'm really going on a tangent here, so let's go back to the main topic. You have 6 bands active in this franchise, all fronted by different seiyuu and all with different styles at their core. Really quickly, because otherwise this video would take hours, you have Lumière. This is the main band in the Dear Vocalist franchise. Toshiki Masuda voices Ryodo, the band's frontman. This band is all about its easy listening pop rock sound, and they usually are one of the bands that I recommend listening to for those who are not that big fans of rock music but want to ease into the genre and into the Dear Vocalist franchise. Then you have Brave Child. This band only joined the franchise during its third CD season, replacing the Fliedmaus. Joshua is voiced by Nobunaga Shimazaki, and he leads the way for his band, bringing a set of gentle, emotional performances in the band's trademark pop rock sound. This is the band that has the most ballads to their name, so if you're into ballads, check out Brave Child. And note that in the most recent release, Himitsu, Brave Child changed things around and delivered an extremely sexy sound that will cater to fans of loungy pop music, R&B and soft rock. Kagaribi. This is by far the most aggressive band in this franchise. Their sound is heavy with hard rock and punk rock, adding life to their aggressive riffs and rough, at times raspy, vocals. Soma Saito voices Judah, the vocalist, and you can expect a rich and deeply emotional set of performances, from raw anger and aggression in the band's early work to the softer, more romantic twist to their hard rock sound, leaning more towards pop rock or even classic rock at times. Judah is the most romantic out of all vocalists in this franchise, and that reflects heavily in the lyrics and tone of his music, which mellows as he gets closer and closer to his significant other. Jet Red Fury. For fans of pop rock with dashes of fast-paced riffs and sprinkles of rough vocals, Jet Red Fury is the second heaviest band in this franchise. Their sound is easier to get into than Kagaribi's for sure, with pop lyrics making their music extremely catchy. Natsuki Hanae actually voices Seiyuu, the band's frontman, and it is quite amazing what he can do with his vocal range and even the little quirks he brings to every single Jet Red Fury song. If you dig deep into their lyrics, you'll notice that the conflict in his life ends up influencing the band's sound. Veronica, undoubtedly the most versatile band, sound and performance-wise. Veronica is fronted by Momochi, character voiced by Toshiyuki Toyonaga. The band is known for its eclectic sound, ranging from heavy rock to dance music, EDM, traditional Japanese music, which is to say enka, jazz, pop and punk rock. Having Toshiyuki Toyonaga on vocals is a god-given for this group, as he can do anything on the vocal end, having one of the most versatile and wide vocal ranges among tenors within the voice acting industry in Japan. As a result, you can't expect their music to sound the same between CDs. Every CD is an opportunity to discover a different side to Momochi and Veronica. Their lyrics often bring to the spotlight the themes of obsession, control, and many others that are core to Momochi's story. NSFW. If you're into EDM music and enjoy unpredictable, crazy dance music, NSFW is the group for you. They are fronted by A-Dash, who is voiced by Ryohei Kimura, and what a mix this is. Ryohei Kimura is an expert at voicing quirky characters with a dash of golden retriever vibes and craziness on top. What he delivers with A-Dash on a first look is exactly that, but there's more behind that I will cover in the next section. When it comes to the band's music, NSFW is all about its highly addictive dance sound that goes really heavy on EDM, hard bass and other subgenres in dance music. Guitars still play a role at adding a unique edge to his music, a dash of aggression if you will, depicting the emotional states A-Dash goes through in his story arc. Expect chaos and a lot of fun from their music, but take into attention that their music is more than meets the eye. Then we have the Fliedmaus. Ciel, voiced by Ken, is the frontman for this band with a dramatic gothic style of rock that is made to impact you since the start. We've talked about the bands and a bit about the vocalists, and while I love the music and it's one of the big reasons why people feel drawn to the Dear Vocalist franchise, for me, the main selling point is actually not the music. It's actually the storytelling. For most people coming across this project, you'll be thinking one of two things. Yay for rock music or yay because of the voice actor cast. But if you dig deep into Dear Vocalist, you'll notice that what this project excels in is in how it weaves storytelling with music to create a seamless experience for you. This franchise's format is pretty simple and effective. You have CDs being released by all bands or vocalists every season, and those CDs have an interesting duality. They have drama tracks in which you and the vocalist interact. These are recorded with a 360 audio or dummy head mic, and then you have the songs tying up with the story in those drama tracks, making it all come full circle. What happens is that if you listen to the songs only, you can understand what happened in the drama CDs, even without listening to them. And conversely, if you listen to the drama CDs, the songs are a perfect tie-up with the story you just experienced. I love how they have interwoven the stories with music in such a way that everyone can enjoy and understand what is going on in the franchise with each vocalist without having to spend hours on a wiki trying to understand its lore. This by itself makes the franchise really easy to get into, especially if you love rock music and want a 2D music franchise to offer more than just music, to have that deep emotional mix of music and storytelling. When it comes to the storytelling itself, you'll be pleased to know that all vocalists grow and mature from the first season of CDs back in 2015 up until the 8th season, which wrapped up in 2024. There's genuine growth personally with you, the listener, as well as with their bands, and everything ties up yet again neatly with their music. It is genuinely pleasing to see characters undergoing change and improving themselves, overcoming challenges and growing over time. The Dear Vocalist franchise does this really well since the start. Since the 7th CD series, the franchise has introduced all the band members, and now you can also have an additional drama CD in which the band members interact with the vocalist, giving more depth to their relationships and how they are. But even as it was before the band members were all introduced, the drama CDs were really well done. The drama tracks in which you take the place of their significant other show the other side of the spotlight of being a rock star. It dives into their personal struggles, their fears and mental health issues they are battling. It also shows how your presence and the way you bond with them helps them, in some cases, overcome those problems, feel safe and loved. But at the end of it all, the stories of all vocalists are genuinely relatable, without any fantastical elements to them. These are stories that I feel many of you will relate to, making this project simultaneously simple in its concept but also incredibly deep in how it explores themes such as mental health. Now, I'm going to issue a trigger warning, so if you're not comfortable with the themes such as depression, suicidal thoughts, anger management, claustrophobia, bipolar disorder, panic attacks and more, I suggest you skip this chapter in the video to the next one. Remember, as much fun as it is watching this video, your mental health comes first. Now, if you didn't skip, I'll assume you are okay with these themes, and be aware that there are tons of spoilers to the main storylines for each character in this section, so if you also don't want to be spoiled, you can skip this section. So, now that I have done the trigger warnings and everything else, for those of you that are still with me in this part, let's talk a bit about Dear Vocalist's focus on mental health. Mental health is at the core of this franchise. Every single vocalist has an issue they are battling with, regardless if it is a phobia or a more serious condition. Ryodo is extremely physically clingy with his significant other. He's always in touch when he's away. From here alone, you can tell he has a fear of abandonment and also is hiding that he is deaf in one of his ears. You can tell from the way he behaves that he is sort of scared of unveiling that to his significant other. Joshua joined the franchise while suffering from deep depression, which leads to a suicide attempt in the first drama CD, which, mind you, happens on track, and you experience the panic of trying to save him before it's too late. This was one of the most harrowing experiences you could have in a drama CD, but also a sort of a wake-up call for people to understand that while someone can be upbeat around everyone, sometimes they're hurting inside really deeply. Judah has anger management issues he's been dealing with since the start. He lashes out on people, especially his guitarist, screams all the time when things don't go his way, and is prone to violent outbursts. He works on those throughout the series, but during the 8th season, you understand a bit why he is like he is, especially when someone really close to him died, which led to him approaching anything that triggers his emotions with an immediate violent response. Seiyuu has deep trust issues. He wasn't particularly loved by his family. He got into the music label due to connections. He ended up making a mess of the idol group he left to become a rocker, and paparazzi made his life a living hell. For Seiyuu, people usually approach him to get something out of him, and as such, he doesn't trust anyone, which leads to, in the first drama CD, he was dating you on and off because at the minimum trust issue, he'd break off things with you or put distance. Momochi is a deeply complex character, to put it simply. So he had a deeply traumatic childhood, receiving no love from his parents. He then became a singer, an insanely talented and versatile one, but still his parents continued to ignore him. Not having received any love when he was younger, Momochi ended up becoming quite obsessive and psychologically violent towards you, his significant other. And that's because he is afraid you'll leave him and stop loving him. Now, when it comes to Momochi, know that he will tie you up and abandon you to teach you a lesson. You will be quite jealous and once again possessive and obsessive over you in a non-healthy way. Especially in the first CD, nothing is consensual with him. He works on that in later CDs, but out of all the vocalists, he is the one that takes the longest to mature and heal. A- has bipolar disorder, ADHD and suicidal tendencies. While his music is incredibly upbeat, if you pay closer attention there's chaos, destruction, confusion and many other feelings that you'll notice tie perfectly with the state of mind that he has. He's impulsive, chaotic and for some even considered crazy. However, he has deep trauma after seeing his own twin brother being killed in front of him in an accident. He barely remembers what happened, but he finds calm and solace in his significant other, the one that quiets all those voices in his head and makes him feel happy for the very first time in years. Ciel wasn't for long actively in the drama CDs, but he suffers from claustrophobia and will have panic or anxiety attacks if he is in closed, tight spaces. He has an episode during one of the drama CDs that shows that while he looks perfect and the franchise does everything to depict him as perfect, in comparison with all other vocalists, the truth is he also has scars and trauma. All these vocalists have those phobias, disorders or mental illnesses that they either overcome, get a bit better dealing with, or end up finding peace with what was triggering them to begin with, thanks to their significant other being alongside them, supporting them every step of the way. Reject ensured that the way these themes were approached wasn't just for shock value. If you listen to the CDs, the storytelling has hints of what they were feeling underneath, and much of what they do has a root in their core struggle. Then the characters aren't defined by their conditions, which is nice to see. You notice that they want to become better people, feel better with themselves and others, and they are making an effort. Every single vocalist in this franchise is doing their best to overcome their demons. And the way it is written is genuinely good while being respectful of the conditions themselves and the people who may have or had them. There is no other 2D music project that does mental health awareness like Dear Vocalist does. This is the core of the franchise more so than the music, and seeing that interwoven with the characters maturing over time and the music doing the same, I feel Dear Vocalist is a truly unique 2D music project which has spawned 8 CD seasons. And speaking of those, CD series and seasons. So since 2015 the franchise has been releasing their music plus drama CDs almost every single year. There are exceptions to this rule, for example delays during the pandemic and also in 2024 because Daisuke Iwasaki, Reject's CEO and main lyricist in the Dear Vocalist franchise, was in the hospital with a heart condition, and that's tied up with the franchise's main scenario writer leaving the project. So far you have 8 CD seasons. Dear Vocalist, a self-titled season, Riot, Wired, Extreme, Evolve, Raving Beats, Unlimited and Headliner. and 7 drama CDs featuring all the vocalists going on a journey and overcoming challenges set up by their music label president. These CDs focus on showcasing the dynamics between the vocalists and how their quirks work or not together. It also shows how most of the vocalists hide pretty well their demons from everyone else, which gives you further insight about them. The impact in the 2D music industry or the legacy. It is undeniable the impact that the Dear Vocalist franchise has had in 2D music. Although they don't have a massive fan base like other 2D music projects celebrating their 10th anniversary in 2025, they continue to consistently release music and being active, telling their unique stories. Yes, because the stories, the characters, the struggles, and the mental health main topic at the heart of this franchise are unique. I've never seen any other 2D music project doing storytelling and music interwoven as well as this franchise does. And yes, there is the Idolish 7 franchise and the Hanadol franchise, which do amazingly when it comes to the storytelling and music working hand in hand. However, I feel that the Dear Vocalist franchise, due to the themes it explores, is deeper and much better done as a result. Just between us, I'm a massive fan of all these franchises, and I've talked about them in a video about how these are some of the all-time best 2D music franchises when it comes to storytelling. All of this to say, I've yet to see another 2D music project having a focus on rock music and executing it so well, having a deep focus on character development and growth, and then approaching it in a really sensitive way, creating awareness when it comes to mental health. This is the most impactful 2D music project in my opinion, even if it isn't getting #1s on Oricon's charts or selling out arenas for the live shows or having tons of fans worldwide. Dear Vocalist has set the bar pretty high when it comes to the storytelling interwoven with music while creating awareness for mental health. This was a quick look and celebration of Dear Vocalist 2D music franchise that has 10 years of amazing music and stories for you to uncover. This is my all-time favorite 2D music franchise as well. If you're a long-time fan of this project, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're a newcomer to this project, I hope this makes you want to check it out. Some music is available on streaming platforms at the time of recording this episode, and the drama CDs are available on CD Japan and Amazon Japan, and you'll find links to those stores in the description. Let me know what do you like the most about this franchise, and did you ever think this franchise would end up celebrating its 10th anniversary? Which songs would you recommend to newcomers? On this screen you will have 2 videos that may interest you. The first one is my review on camera of Judas Kasetsu, one of the most romantic songs in this franchise, and the other one is a full episode about the Dear Vocalist franchise. Both episodes are unscripted, so I hope you enjoy them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in one of those videos.